Some students calculate the gauge pressure in an experiment to be 2.5 atmospheres. A second group of students calculate the absolute pressure of the same experiment to be 354.55 kilopascals. What is the absolute pressure calculated by the first group? What is the gauge pressure calculated by the second group? Do the two groups agree on the calculation? What is the absolute pressure calculated by the first group? The formula for absolute pressure is equal to gauge pressure plus the atmospheric pressure. So the absolute pressure is the sum of the gauge pressure and the atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is a constant, but there are a number of different units that can be used. We can call it 1 atmosphere, 101.3 kilopascals, or 1.013 times 10 to the 15th pascals. And this is the pressure that the air exerts on everybody at sea level. For the first group of students, we'll work in atmospheres because it's pretty straightforward. So the absolute pressure is the gauge pressure, 2.5 atmospheres, plus the atmospheric pressure, which is 1. So we get absolute pressure, 3.5 atmospheres. For the second group of students, we'll work in kilopascals, and we will need to arrange the equation to solve for the gauge pressure. So here's our general equation. Subtract atmospheric pressure from each side to isolate gauge pressure. Here's our absolute pressure. We subtract the atmospheric pressure, this term over here, and we get a gauge pressure of 253.25 kilopascals. Do the two groups agree on the calculation? Well, what makes it a little tricky is they were working in different units, which is always a problem. Let's convert the first group's absolute pressure of 3.5 atmospheres to kilopascals to see if it agrees with the second group. So here's our 3.5 atmospheres. And what is 1 atmosphere equal to? Well, it's equal to 101.3 kilopascals. So this quantity here is actually equal to 1. So you can multiply anything by 1 and get the same number. And we get 354.55 kilopascals, which agrees with the second group. So the answer here is yes.